Welcome into the official. This is part 2 of our sleeper show. If you didn't catch last week, go back. We did quarterbacks, tight ends, and some recent commitments that are probably going to be fantasy relevant. And then this week, we are continuing the sleeper theme. We are going to jump into 3-star running backs and receivers. And these are the types of guys who can absolutely change the landscape of your Campus Canton team. Just the guys like Quinshon Judkins. And there are others, Damian Martinez. Last year, these are 1,000-plus yard performers as true freshmen, and they were 3-star running backs. Also, reverting back to the quarterbacks from last week, but Anthony Richardson for most of the process was a 3-star. So do not sleep on 3 stars. We are here to tell you the guys you need to be paying attention to. This is the official. All right. We are in basically hour number 2 here of recording. This will air in a few weeks, but the 3-star guys are not going to change. So we are able to talk about them now, and they're still going to be relevant when this episode comes out. And check out campuscanton.com. I'm also going to mention homefieldapparel.com. Go check them out. Campus 2 Canton is the promo code to get 15% off your first purchase at Homefield Apparel. It's comfortable, it's soft, and it's innovative designs with kind of retro-ish stuff for tons of colleges. They even have like St. Peter's, who went to the Elite Eight or something a few years ago and got licensed for their apparel right away. But tons of colleges, guys you wouldn't even, all the big names, but then a ton of ones, Colorado School of Mines. Tons of smaller schools that you may like for one reason or another, and you can get great apparel there. So, all right, that's enough of that. We got to jump in. We got like 20-plus running backs and receivers to go through. It is going to take a while, but it's going to be worth it because we never know when one of these guys is next Quinshon Judkins. Let's start with probably the highest-rated guy. I think he was a 4-star at one point. I think David Eziomume is probably one of the higher-rated on this whole thing. He's going to Clemson. 6 feet, 205, 21.2 miles per hour. Ranked as a running back 35 right now. Matt, what do you think about him? I kind of liked him recently. What's your take?
Yeah, I actually like him a lot. I was watching North Cobb full games at the beginning of last year to watch Benjamin Hall, and David actually ended up sticking out to me because he was pushing for time against Benjamin Hall, and they had another senior running back last year. And he kind of played all over for them, a little bit of running back, a little bit of wide receiver, even some inline work, as you'll see in the next clip. But so he's a pretty do-it-all guy. Great size already, great speed. I probably like him more than the duo Clemson got last year. My guy Jamarius Haynes, who I still love, but I think it's hard to argue he's better than David Eziomume, I believe it's pronounced.
Okay. Well, and I will say, we a lot of times we defer to On3. They seem to have the most recent weights. He's listed at 205 here on the sheet. I knew I had seen him under 200, 195. That's not terrible, but obviously you would like 205 already better. So interesting. I don't know exactly where he's going to line up, but totally agree on the receiving. And at that size and hitting over 21, there's a lot to like. I think he's kind of sudden. I wouldn't say he's like a juke master, but I think he's sudden with little one cuts. That can be nice. I think I'm going to actually have him fairly high at the end of it all. Do you want to pull up the tiers? I forgot to do that, but here we go.
I would argue he is, I'd say just A, just flat A.
I'm fine with that. As far as this group, I would even maybe say S, because I think he's going to wind up for me. I think he's going to wind up a top 20 running back overall, regardless of 3-star.
He's in at the moment.
He might even be
close to my top 10.
So I think as far as sleepers are concerned, I would say
I think that's fair.
What else are you waiting for?
How do you feel, David?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I think the depth chart's pretty weak at Clemson, so
yeah.
And he's like he'll be physically ready to go right away.
I like that a lot. I think he kind of hits the definition of S tier for at least this purpose. All right, and if you weren't watching last week, which I hope you were, but This is a chart David made. We were tiering all the players. So you can see there, guys from last week are still sitting there. We did not have an S tier for quarterback or tight end, and first running back off the board is an S tier. So pretty exciting stuff to kick off the show. I don't really have an order here, but I'm looking at this guy, and the size is blowing my mind. Brian Jackson, 6 feet 240, clocked at 20.2 miles per hour. He's a top 50 running back on the On3 composite, but 47, so pretty far down lists. David, I'll throw it to you. Do you have an opinion on Brian Jackson? And either one of you guys, of course, can veto and say the other guy should talk about him.
Yeah, according to my numbers, he's got the biggest neck in the class. So he's just an absolute unit. Like, he kind of looks like a linebacker. He's committed to USC, which I think that's the main thing here. That's the biggest issue, I feel like, because they got two pretty solid running backs the last class. I think he's more of short yardage, goal line type of player. I don't know if he's ever going to be like a workhorse at USC at least. But as far as like his, he can always transfer with the portal thing going on. But I thought he moved pretty well for this dude that's 240.
240 is. There's actually another guy on this list listed at 240, but it's pretty rare.
It's like huge. Part of me wants to tank him for where he's going, but the other part's like, well, the talent's pretty solid. So I'm like between B or C for him.
I'll go with B.
I'd go with B. I think
he's
sudden. He had some movement there.
He's one of the better pure runners in this group, I think. Although he doesn't have a great top speed, I think he is very bursty as soon as he gets his hands on the ball.
Yeah.
I hate the USC landing spot. I mean, we got Joyner and Amari Peterson in the last class. It's hard to project him over these guys. I would probably have him over Peterson, but not Joyner. But either way, I'm hoping he flips.
All right, so we have. Let's move him to B. We like that. Okay. I'm going to stick with, and I'll talk about this guy, and I have a feeling at least Matt might disagree with me, but I came away pretty impressed with Cameron Jones. 6'1", 240 pounds, so another 240 guy. He's clocked at 20.9, so we're getting close to 21 at that size would be like elite, getting to be elite territory, but 20.9 doesn't quite make it there. Still very fast for a guy who's listed at 240 on 3, which is usually accurate. You can see he's pulling away from DBs here at 240 pounds. That's just unusual. But I thought he was also pretty nimble. He's not a plotter really at all. I mean, he's got a little juke in space there. He uses his size to his ability. And also, I'm not sure we'll see it on this little clip here, but he can catch. He definitely lined up sometimes outside. He also caught some out of the backfield. I mean, he can catch the ball. So, checking truly every box. If he hit 21, which I know is arbitrary a little bit, 20.9, 21.0, who cares? But really fast. And if he's truly 240, I really like him. I would lobby for A. He's not committed yet. He may go to UCLA, which I think he would fit like a Zach Charbonnet mold there. But I know Matt, I've already talked to him offline. I don't think he's too impressed with Cameron Jones. So I'll let you guys duke it out.
Why are you muting me? I would say C. I just don't really see it. I don't think he's a huge tackle breaker. I mean, he does fight through tackle. He's 240. He should be. I don't think he's quite that nimble. Pretty fast. I just don't think he's I think Brian Jackson is a much better runner at this stage. Whereas Jones is more of a raw athlete, kind of just flying through, and he's playing at a pretty big school, and he's not a super highly recruited guy, which is always a bit of a red flag for me. So I would say C.
So it's on. I'll just split the difference. So we'll just jam him into B.
We could throw him to B.
I think the UCLA spot would be decent if he ended up there. But
that is true.
I like their running scheme in general.
I think he's trending. I mean, I don't know if he'll wind up there. He's from California. I think he's trending to UCLA, so maybe that will happen. All right, going to the other side of the country. This is a guy we've talked about before. Maybe we can not go too deep into it, but Gabriel Winovich has been a sleeper on our list for a little while. We talked about him on the Freak List preview, I believe. So he's a freak athlete. And going, I think, still headed to
Rutgers.
Rutgers. I don't. Oh, there he is. So, Matt, tell us about him. Briefly, and then we'll move on. But
yeah, I mean he's extremely good testing agility wise. Not the best,